Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and founder of Agile Dad here, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. It's Friday, so it's time for our Agile, not so agile episode of the Daily Stand-Up. And today I want to talk about, I tried to pull together a top 10 list. Somebody came up to me in one of my classes and I said, Lee, they said, you're always a happy person. They're like, what are some things that we can do to help us be more happy or to be more in tune or to be more connected to who we are and what we should be doing. So I put together a top 10 list, and quite honestly, I was trying to put together a top 10, and I could only come up with 9. So I have a top 9 list of things that I've incorporated into my life to try to make things better. So here we go. So coming in at number 1, you need to be willing to change. So in order for you to really feel happy and to be a better person, you need to have an open mind about some of the things that you're willing to change and some of the things that you're willing to do to help yourself grow. You can't come at this from a perspective of, I want to be a better person, but I'm not going to change anything, right? It doesn't make sense. It's the same as saying, I want to do Agile, but we're not going to change anything we're doing. You need to have change in order to grow. So change is absolutely my number 1 topic. Number 2 has to do with stop making excuses. And I think that, if we get to the point where we're constantly blaming someone else or constantly saying it's not our fault, you're going to continue down this path. It's like a spiral, and it's not going to be easy for you to jet out of it. So you need to find a way to jettison out of making excuses, and you need to find ways to eliminate those excuses. Oftentimes I'll say, I made a mistake, or I was wrong, or this is what happened. And, organizations, especially like that, coming from an Agile coach, they want to know where they are. They want to know what happened. They want to know how to stop it from happening again. And that's an area where we can certainly improve. Number 3 is one of my favorite ones. You need to stop being angry. I often hear people say, oh, that made me so mad, or, oh, that made me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, nothing can make you feel that way. You can choose to be angry about something that happened, but no one can force you to be. Right? Rage is a decision that you made. And it's one of those things where, yeah, sure, your blood pressure can go up. You can have some anger inside, but what you do with that anger and how you channel it, how you relax your nerves, those are all things that'll help you be stronger. So you need to find the tools that you need to help you get through those times when you feel like you're just not in a good place, right? Because that's important. Coming in at number 4 is be a strong role model for somebody. So sometimes if you are a role model for someone else, it's a good trigger for you to get your own act together. So a lot of people look to me because, well, I own a business, things are successful, I'm generally happy, and people want to know how to get to that point. One organization I'm a huge fan of, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, they always try to find a way to mentor someone or to bring someone on. Likewise, I try to find a way to do mentorship programs. I generally can only take on like one person a year, a couple of people a year, to try to get them to, become better at what they do. But I'll always accept emails from individuals with, one-off questions or things that they want to know, because I think it's important for me to continually try to give back, to try to give into the community and give back and do things to help them grow. Because I know at some point, I needed these people to be role models in my life, and I have plenty that have come along and helped me on my journey. Number 5 might be the most difficult one on the whole list. Number 5 is to forgive someone. So this is so hard to do. And this is something that I struggle with for some time. I remember that someone very close to me got upset with me. And this particular individual, she went years without even so much as talking to me. And it was somebody who I was close to, and it just drove me crazy. But what I quickly figured out was, even though she was angry, I still needed to forgive her. And the second I did forgive her, everything just kind of came into play. If you're going to be a better person, you need to kind of own it. Instead of holding mistakes against somebody for the rest of their life, forgive them. Get to the point where you're the better person. And I think that if you get there, it's going to help you really understand how to remove those those boulders off of your road so that you can be happy, so that you can have genuine happiness. Number 6 is probably the easiest one on here. Listen to people. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got something going on, whether it's their job, their family, their life. Everyone's in a rush. Everybody's got something to do, right? But I think if you take time to sit and listen to people, it'll give you an opportunity to realize and recognize just how amazing some people are. Sometimes when I stop talking and start listening is when I get the better end of the deal. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes in negotiating, when I'm talking about working with someone in an agile environment, or when I'm talking about what we can do to make a difference, instead of me coming in with answers right away, oftentimes when I just stop and listen to what they're going through, they'll sell themselves on our services, or they know that I'm going to do a good thing because I'm a powerful, proactive listener. And I think, by the way, that's another one that's really hard to do, because sometimes, and the example, so I'm going to tell you a quick story because this is a good one. So I had someone come up to me and they said, there's one thing that really bothers me. It's a pet peeve. And it wasn't about me. It was just a pet peeve in general. So I said, well, what is this pet peeve? And this guy said, in my country, when someone comes up to you and says, how are you doing? Or how are you? That is an invitation for you to speak with them. In America, people will come up to you and say, how are you? And the expectation is that your answer is going to be great or fine or whatever. They don't expect for you to say, oh, well, let me tell you what's going on in my life, And it's amazing because in other cultures where there's more happiness, hint, hint, people actually listen to other people and they don't ask questions like, how are you doing today? Unless they really want to know, how are you doing today? And I think that we need to adjust that in our careers, in our family, in our lives. We need to carve out time to actually listen to people and carve out time, because when you do, that's when people are going to realize that you're invested in them, and it's going to make a huge difference. Number 7, another easy one, be honest. I think that honest people are hard to come by nowadays because people are so used to being scammed and coerced and pushed to believe or do a certain thing. But I think the best remedy for any situation is just always tell the truth. If you challenge yourself to be honest and tell the truth, and if this wasn't always easy for me, when I was in growth mode and growth stages, I thought that I had to make myself out to be something that I wasn't in order to continue to grow. And what I quickly discovered is that the more frequently and often I was honest with people, the easier it was, because I never had to concoct a story. I never had to talk about where things were or what was going on. I just had to say, hey, this is what I know, this is what I don't know. And you can try to be honest for a very short time if it's something you struggle with. You don't have to just flip a switch and say, cold turkey, I'm going to be honest. You could say, let me try being honest today. Let me try being honest with my family. Let me try being honest with my peers. And I think that sometimes it's just, you need to start small with small goals. And this is one that'll be a lifelong journey, right? Because the truth is, no one is 100% honest. Everyone always, everyone always has that opportunity where someone says, do I look bad in this dress? And I know it's a static question, but you get where I'm going with this. There's always an opportunity where we don't want to let someone down. And sometimes being honest, being blunt is so challenging because, well, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but at the same time, you don't want to lose your integrity. So it's one of these things where you have to balance, but it's important to understand that if you're just honest all the time, if someone did say, hey, how does this dress look on me, or whatever the question may be, it might be an opportunity for you to say, that doesn't look bad, but let's explore and see if there might be some better options. There you go. You were being honest. You didn't necessarily say, now, if it did look awful, oh my goodness, that's just awful. It would be important for you to say, maybe we can find a better choice, right? But I think that's where we need to be. And that's part of being comfortable in our own skin. And it's not easy. It's something that you have to challenge yourself to do. Number 8 is something that I find myself doing more and more. Do something that you don't necessarily want to do. Sometimes to be a better person, you need to take a risk or challenge yourself to try something new. Maybe it's something you've been scared of, or maybe it's something that you just don't like doing that somebody else really loves doing. We have a close family member who has a fear of roller coasters and a fear of intense rides. And, we went to an amusement park, and it was quite a bad experience for this individual and the family who didn't want to ever do anything and found herself sitting off to the side instead of being with all the other kids who loved going on the coasters and loved having that experience. So the happiness part of this is when I said, you know what, maybe it's better for me or someone else to sit this one out and entertain her and do something that she wants to do so that she can understand that she's cared for and she can grow as a person. So sometimes making that little bit of sacrifice yourself is what causes things to come full circle and causes you to be the bigger person. And then number 9 on my list, and this is probably my favorite on the whole list, is surprise someone special. Whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, romantic partner, children, family member, whoever it is, right? Plan a special surprise for them. Whether it's someone that's very close to you that deserves a nice vacation or a new gift or something that'll make their life easier, just buy it for them. Don't ask permission. This is one of the most rewarding feelings when you know that you made someone smile and that you made someone's day. There is a viral video out right now on YouTube, and it's these guys who are just like total thug gangster type guys, right? And they ride around in a car and they scream out to people on the side of the road or on the streets, like, hey, you, yeah, you over there in the yellow, you looking quite special today. It's just, and it catches people so off guard because what they're doing is they're leveraging this persona of, people that, a persona of someone that people would fear, and letting people know that not everyone in that persona is a bad person. And man, you look sharp today, or your smile is on point, and it's just so funny to watch these videos, and I always tell stories about, whether it's buying something for the person behind you in a drive-through, or whether it's, pick up an item at the grocery for someone, or getting someone a gift card, or helping someone. I recently had an opportunity where I was walking down the street with a box of leftovers from a dinner, and I ran into someone homeless who said they were hungry, and they asked me for change. I said, what if I did something better? What if I had food instead? And the guy's like, man, I am so hungry. He goes, what's in that box? He goes, is it something I like? Is it something I'll eat? I said, well, it depends on whether you like steak and mac and cheese. And he just grinned and said, oh, are you kidding me? And he got to enjoy a piece of a nice steak and some macaroni and cheese, which is probably something that in his budget would never be possible. But when I saw the tears in this man's eyes, that's what made it special, because he wasn't expecting that. But it was just, and for me, boy, it made me feel good. And I think that the further out of the ordinary you can get with this, the better you're going to be. You need to step outside of your comfort zone to do it. And I think that's when it becomes something really special. But I think the key to all of this is you need to be ready to make the change. So tying it into our week's worth of coaching, you need to be ready to commit to changing things in your life. You need to be ready to take the step on a journey. You need to be ready to figure things out. And we're all in a different place. So go through the whole week's messages. We're all in a different place. We need to figure out where we are on our journey, how we're going to measure, whether or not we're successful, put together a plan of what we're going to do, and make that commitment to get it done. And I promise you that if you follow that advice, that you're going to be a genuinely happier person and that your life is going to be better. There you go. Man, I made that easy. I want you to have an amazing weekend. Go out there and kill it this weekend. Do something fun. Have an amazing weekend. And we'll see you again on Monday. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.